Hey, good afternoon, friends. Let's start today. All you people pay attention. See that in today's class, we people are going to discuss next part or maybe what we people have discussed in previous lecture. It was about synonyms, antonyms, prefix, and suffix. So in today's class, we are going to discuss next part of it, and that will be unit number 3, that is situational conversation or dialogue writing, and next one will be reading comprehension. These 2 points today we people are going to discuss. So just to begin, let's start that I will share the screen and you people just let me know if this screen is visible. So someone just give me reply if my voice is audible to them and screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so in this sheet of study material or teaching dialogue division E, we people will just go through this here 3.1, and this 3.1, it says that situational conversation. Okay, so if you click on this, you people will get this document open, notes open here. Okay. And we people will discuss about this. So unit number 3, this is oral communication. Okay, so what we people know of oral communication? In fact, communication has 2 types. There are other types also, but basically we people will discuss here 2 types only. So based on this, let's assume that first type it is oral communication, and another will be written communication. Okay, so based on this, in your professional life, you people are expected to go through both of them. It means that when you people are going to start your job with some organization, you people need to perform your oral communication skills also and written communication skills also, because this is means most of the times we people have to speak, that is oral communication, but there are other some situations like job application letter is there, different business letters are there, email is there. So in that, you people have to write down also. So therefore, written communication is also equally important in your professional life. So in this unit number 3, in oral communication, we people have to focus on how we people can improve our oral communication, which is required for improving your oral communication, which is the prerequisite condition for if you want to get a job or if you want to start your career. You people have to go through certain process called recruitment process, and you will be qualified on the basis of what communication you people do, or how is your oral communication as far as English is concerned, or that English language is concerned. Many of the students, they are not able to perform well in interviews, in group discussions, and whatever oral communication activities are there. And so they fell. They have good marks, but their performance in such oral communication interviews and group discussion just mar their or they spoil their career. So it is up to you now. You people have to decide that anyway. You people have to go through this process. After right now, you people are about to just complete your first year itself, and when completing first year, you are going to complete second year also, third year also. And when you complete your third year, that time you people will be looking for jobs, will be looking for placements, will be looking for maybe other purposes might be some of the students are having. But when you people will just look for job or placement, so that time this question arises that how you people are going to prepare yourself for this. And I just told you people that you people are in just first year, so you have lots of time that you can just spend in preparation, or that you can just make yourself comfortable with English and English communications, maybe in oral form or maybe in written form as well. So therefore, you people just don't look at it from the exam point of view, or don't look at from the just getting marks, because right now we people having only ISC exam. We don't have any end semester exam also, and so many of the students they take casually. But this is not the thing that you shouldn't take casually. Rather than you have to work on it, and you people have to make it your strength. So whenever, wherever, and with whomever you are going to speak in English, you'll not find a difficulty, but you'll find that you can do it. So for that purpose, we people are going to discuss today's 3.1, and this topic is named situational conversation. Okay, so here you people have to understand that what we mean by situational conversation. In our day-to-day life, we come across with number of situations. Okay, so what happens with whenever we come across with such situations? Situations can be that you wake up early in the morning and you have some dialogue with your friend, maybe family members, maybe with your friends, maybe with your relatives, neighbors. And if you are going in the market, you will come across with people who are selling vegetables, people who are maybe there are certain shops, grocery shop is there, electronic shops are there. You want to buy mobile, you want to do recharge to your mobile cell phone, and bank is there, and lots of things are there. So you are going to come across with these people who are around you, with whom you are living in a society. So these are the situations of day-to-day life, and you come across with them. And when you will come across here, you people have to imagine that a situation, you will be given such situations, and you people will be asked to develop a dialogue on such situation, which is going to help you to improve your oral communication also. Okay, so that is the just information that we should know what situational conversation means to us. Okay, so see, a dialogue is a conversation between two or more people in a variety of situations. So that is the point I just told you, that this is just conversation, and this conversation can be between two, minimum two people are required, and more than two people will be also there. So dialogue writing helps the students to express their ideas and thoughts easily and constructively. So here you people have to understand that whenever we talk of a dialogue, so the word dialogue itself suggests that what does it mean. So it is made up of two words, so die and another is log. So when you think of die, what do you mean by die? Die means two, okay, and log means conversation. So there is conversation between two people or more than two people, it will be dialogue. And here, as I told you, that lots of ideas and thoughts that we people have, and if we want to express ourselves with the help of this ideas and thoughts, then it should be simple, it should be in an easy way, in a constructive way. So therefore, it is necessary that we should be habitual for such dialogue writings. And proper dialogue needs skill and command over the language. So as per this, you are expected to have these 2 points with you. Which 2 points? You should have this skill. So dialogue writing is not the matter of intelligence, it is matter of practice, and with practice you can overcome and you can acquire, achieve this skill. And another thing is that you should have command over language. So when I mean, when I say command over the language, what does it mean? It means that you people have to take care that you can write in English, or you can just use language easily. You can just use words, sentences, patterns, etc. without any mistakes. maybe of grammar and spelling and punctuation, etc. in writing. Okay, so these are the things which are required that we should know, and you'll come to know that here certain steps are given. So we'll discuss these steps here in short. So steps in writing a dialogue. So major three steps are given here. So you people will see that first step is greetings. Okay, so whenever we people will start our dialogue, it will be with greetings only. Without greetings, you cannot start your any of the dialogues. Maybe in your mother tongue, you are not going to use any greetings. Maybe in case of other languages also, they do not begin with the greetings. But as far as English is concerned, English is the language which is used all over the world. And so therefore, you people have to think that you are going to begin your conversation whenever and wherever you are going to start to speak with people, the people have to greet the people. And how to greet people? It is based on the situation, whether it is formal situation, whether it is informal situation, and as per the time of the day you people are going to greet the people. So in formal situation, so what I mean by formal situation, so whenever you are going to talk with your seniors, juniors, your colleague, your boss, your teachers, your maybe principal, etc., all these will come in formal situations, because here you people have certain restrictions of time, language and topic. So these are formal. And in formal situations, you people are going to use greetings like good morning, maybe good afternoon, good evening. Okay, so these are the some greetings that you are going to use in formal situations. Okay, and if the situation is informal, informal means where you do not have any restrictions of time, topic, language, etc. So that time that becomes informal. So you can use hi, you can say hello, etc. So these are the greetings that the people have to use while starting any of your dialogues. Or maybe in oral communication also, if you're going to talk with any of the person, the people can use these dialogues. So that is what about first step, that is greetings, and you people have to use it. Okay. Then next we people are going to talk about second step, and this second step is nothing but it is development of dialogue. So here you people are going to think of situation now. So it is very important to understand what situation is given to you. And if you understand this situation, you people have to think of the characters, how many characters are required. Minimum 2 characters are required. So people have to think of those characters and their probable dialogues. You have to imagine that how they can speak. If natural situation is there, how these two people would have talked. That you people have to imagine, and you people start developing dialogue. So the dialogue should read like a spontaneous real conversation. So that is important. It should sound real. It should not be ऐसा maybe आप अच्छे बात कर सकते हैं, पर ऐसा इमेजिन करके आपको जब लिखना हो, तब in that case you may not be sound natural. So therefore it is necessary कि आपको आपका जो dialogue होगा वो आपको जो real है ऐसा लगना चाहिए, ऐसा इमेजिन करना है आपको, and then you people have to continue writing this dialogue. So include questions with proper question marks. So if there is question, people have to use question mark. If there is exclamations, आपको exclamatory mark use करना है, so that the dialogue should sound real. So आप अगर ऐसे punctuation marks if you are going to use, then it will sound natural. So that also you people have to remember. Then use correct expressions like excuse me, sorry, thank you, please, may I know. These are the some of the words that you people can use in your conversation, in your dialogue, which is going to make your language polite, and you are going to inquire in a humble way. So we all know that these are very short and simple words, but they are going to make your language very polite. Okay, so that was about development of dialogue. So accordingly, you just get familiar with the situation and develop the situation. And then next one is here that says dialogue should end with proper sentences depending on whether the situation is formal or informal. So now if you develop the situation, you have completed all your dialogues, then you people have to close or stop your dialogue here. And Again, this depends upon formal situation and informal situation. If your situation is formal, then how you are going to close your dialogue? You are going to close your dialogue by saying, good day to you, have a nice day, thank you very much for your help, it was a pleasure talking to you. So these are the expressions that you people can use for formal situations. And if the situation is informal, in that case, you are going to say, take care, see you soon, bye, tata, something like this. You people can use to end your informal dialogue. Okay, so these are the tips that you people have to follow. And with this, you people can just see here some examples are given. So first situation is that a dialogue between two friends regarding the schedule of final exam. So again, this is real situation right now. You people have received the schedule of your final exam, and perhaps you people may have some dialogue with each other. So just go through this dialogue and whether try to decide whether this is same as you think, or what you talk to your friend is the same dialogue has been here, or if you want to add some points in this dialogue. Then next situation is that between the bank manager and the customer about opening a new account. So here also you people would like to just come across with such situation in your personal life also. Maybe for scholarship you require a new bank account, and so therefore you are going in a bank and you are going to open a new account. So you can share your experience also in the form of a dialogue, that how you open a new account in a bank. Okay, then next one, that between an office staff of the student section and a student who inquires about the scholarship. So this is also your normal situation, that in college you people are going to submit application form, scholarship form. So that time a lot of queries and difficulties students face, and so these conversations or this dialogue can be written down with help of this situation. Then again, next D, two students discussing about timetable of final exam. Similar situation is repeated here. And then there is one more, between two friends about how they plan to spend their vacation. So here also people can think that there are two friends, and if their exams are over, or it may be summer vacation, and then they are going to plan of how they are going to spend their vacation. So you can imagine that what are the plans, usual plans for the students or for children, that they want to spend their vacations. And accordingly, you people can just write down dialogue. Just don't copy from these notes. Just take the situations from this and try to write down your own. Okay. So between two friends about their hobbies. So here also people can imagine there are two friends that they meet each other, and then they have topic for discussion, that is hobbies. And here is the again one more situation, between the librarian and a student who has lost a book of the library. Here also people can imagine that the student who has borrowed a book from the library, but anyway somehow he has lost his book, and now he wanted to talk to the same thing with the librarian. So what communication might take place between librarian and the student, and between father and son about importance of reading in life. So this situation is also here, that people can just see that if you know what is importance of reading, you will just put them into dialogue, some questions for the son and some answers for the father. So in that way, the people will write it down. Okay, so generally this dialogue is in the form of questions and answers. Okay, so just for practice, we are going to take one situation out of this. So for better information, I will take this situation between the bank manager and a customer about opening a new account. This situation we people will take, and we will try to see how we people can write a dialogue. Okay, is it okay? आवाज वगैरह येतोय का, अडचण, कोई दिक्कत डिफिकल्टी है? If problem is there, you people may ask me. So I will share some whiteboard, and somebody just let me know if it is visible. So is it visible for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we people are going to see, we will see how we can develop one dialogue based on this situation. Okay. So for that, you have to be very careful that you should feel that the situation is familiar to you, and you people can write dialogue on this situation. So let's see that there is one customer. Roll number 50, mute yourself. So there is one customer, there is one person who wants to open a new account in a bank. So let's imagine this situation. So there are two persons, there are two characters, which are these two persons. First one will be customer. So I will write down only C. C stands for customer. So what customer is going to say? As we have studied just, your dialogue is going to begin with greetings. So as per the time of the day, the customer is going to say, good afternoon, sir. Okay, so this is the response of customer. Then there is another person, that is bank manager. So for bank manager, I will write down B here. So what bank manager is going to say? Is going to say that good afternoon. Then he's going to ask that how may I help you? So this is usually a response by the bank manager. So maybe if you are going to face this in private bank, but in government bank, nobody is going to ask you good afternoon, how may I help you? They don't bother about their customers and something like that. But just imagine that this is a good bank and good manager is very cooperative. We will assume this and we will continue. Okay, so bank manager is asking like this. So then now it is customer's turn. So what customer is going to say? Customer will say, I want to open a new account in your bank. Okay, so this is what customer is going to say. Is it visible, this taker?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, fine. You people try to pay attention, and if there is any suggestion, I would like to tell here that dialogue will not be same for everybody. Everybody it will be different, because what I think, it is not necessary you people should think. Your thinking is different. What is my imagination, your imagination may be vary. So somebody may think in different way also. So not necessarily all people have to write down the same or in this way only. You people can think of your own and you can develop your own dialogue also. So customer will say, I want to open a new account in your bank. So just assume about now a bank manager is going to say, so he's going to further inquire that which type of account do you want to open? So bank manager is going to ask you. So assume that customer, usually all people open account which is saving account, so most popular. So customer will say, I want to open a savings account. Okay, so so this is general question answer session. So dialogue is in the form of question answer that you people have read somewhere in MCQ. Now it is bank manager's turn. So now bank manager is going to ask to the customer, have you brought all documents? So this is question. So now imagine that in this case, customer is not aware about which documents are required. So customer is going to ask you which documents are required for a new account. Okay, required to open a new account, you can select this. Which documents are required to open a new account? You can use like this also. Okay, so this is again a question. So question followed by a question. Now here bank manager, he will just give list of documents, or he will just say you need a passport size photograph. Then you can add number of documents here. You can PAN card, or you can just say Aadhaar card, and if required, 1, 2, 3, 4 documents you can mention, and their photocopies. Photocopy Xerox, you can see. Okay. So now customer, assume that customer has all these documents. So he will say, yes, sir, I have all these documents. Here they are. So here you people can just give instructions also. So whenever you want to add something, so you can put it into bracket also. So here what we will say, we'll see, write down like this, customer, and store the documents to the bank manager. Okay, so if additional is there like this, so people can mention like this. Now here it is bank manager's turn now. So bank manager is going to say, now what, please take this form and fill it completely. Okay, so maybe there is one application form which is going to handle. Again, here also you can write that the bank manager gives form to the customer. Then customer is going to say, so now customer is going to ask that bank manager, or imagine that customer has taken this form and he has filled, and now he is going to submit this form. Here is the form, and then now maybe bank manager will ask to the customer, attach all documents to this form. Okay, so here in bracket you can write down customer attaches documents to the form. Okay, and then just 1 minute. So now this process is over. Now it is customer's turn. So now customer is inquiring again that when will I get my passbook, checkbook, ATM card. Okay, so this is in the form of question that customer wants to ask. So on that, maybe bank manager will say, you will get it by post within a week. Okay, so let's imagine that now that was all about that customer wants to know, and here customers queries are satisfied, and now customer wants to stop, or we want to close this dialogue. So these are the things that here that discussion has taken place. So now customer is going to say, thank you very much for your kind help. Okay, so now based on this, bank manager will reply that it's my pleasure. Okay, and again customer will say, have a great day, nice day, or wonderful day, something like this. So on that, bank manager will take last turn and he'll say, maybe thank you and same to you. So here we have finished this dialogue. Okay. So likewise, you are expected to write down how many 8 to 10 dialogues. So based on this, you people can just think your imagination. If you're imaginative, in that case, you can write it creative. Otherwise, simply you will be just copying from somewhere. Maybe already notes are with you. So you may go to these notes and simply you are going to copy it down. So don't try to copy. This is not, I just told you that this is not for this exam, this ISC, for this year, for this semester. Don't think like this. So people have to improve your English maybe for your future life, for your job, for your maybe opportunities, have some goals that you want to go abroad. So for these purposes, you people are going to improve your English. Or rather, I will suggest that you people can uh, write down every day, write one paragraph, every day write down one uh, dialogue. So this you can follow. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes are required, but within that 10 to 15 minutes, what you can do, 10 minutes you can spend for writing one paragraph every day, and 10 minutes you can spend for writing one dialogue every day. So this is going to help your oral as well as written communication also. So while writing dialogue, you people have to take care about grammar, spelling mistakes, and punctuation marks. These things you people have to take care, so that your marks are not going to be deducted for such mistakes. Okay, is it clear? कुणाल का अड़चन है क्या? किसी कोई दिक्कत है? And if it is clear to you, you may take screenshot if you want to refer this, or you can try to write down your own dialogue also. So give me someone reply yes, no, or any questions if you have. I think that there is no any doubt and no any response. So it means that everything is clear to you people. Is it like this? So in ISU, people are going to attempt to do dialogues like this. So is it audible? No response. I'm expecting some response. Somebody should say at least. One or two students should give me response.
Yes, sir, we got it.
Okay, fine. So with this, I hope that everybody is clear with this. Now I will just go to this another point that we people would like to discuss, and that should be about now reading comprehension. Again, for reading comprehension, we people do not have any of the um, maybe any difficulty or that any teaching is required for this reading comprehension. This perhaps you might be just doing from your 8th standard. Unseen passage we have been solving. So you people are just having one unseen passage, and you people are just reading that and solving it. Okay, so here I will make it clear, and I will share once again the screen so that you people will go for this reading comprehension. We'll discuss one passage today, and then we people will stop. If you come here in 4.1, that is reading comprehension, if you click here, you people will go to the notes. And here you people will just discuss this. So reading comprehension is an ability to understand something. So something means that usually it is text. In context with language, comprehension is an exercise where content is understood, incorporated, and reproduced in your own words. So why this is again, why people are going to study this reading comprehension? Because it is not just for only one unseen passage. Perhaps you people have to face a lot of such things in your future. Maybe you are going to receive some emails that you people have to read your emails carefully. You have to understand the content in that email, and you accordingly people have to work. You accordingly people have to give some instructions. Accordingly, people have to complete your work. So therefore, if your reading is well, then immediately you will understand what email is sent and what you have to do. Okay, so therefore it is important. Maybe you are going to receive some documents, reports, and letters, and lots of things are there. So therefore, reading comprehension is important. An engineering professional has to understand technical as well as non-technical concepts, ideas, or messages at workplace. I just told you that you don't take it just for this exam only or just for this semester or year only, but in your future you are going to come across with such lots of content, lots of reading material, lots of documents you people have to read, and you people have to understand them well. Thus, there is a need of understanding uh, and unfamiliar content by paying careful attention to context, reproducing same if required. Before joining an industry, an engineering student has to face recruitment process where comprehension is used as a tool to find out how well a candidate understands content and language. So therefore, it is important key not just for this, but in your recruitment process also, you people are going to come across with reading comprehension. So for reading comprehension also, we people are going to have some tips here. So we people will go through these tips. So first tip is very simple, that you people have to read the given passage carefully. And sometimes in one go, in one reading, it is not possible to understand all this paragraph. So therefore, you people are going to read it twice. Maybe sometimes it is required to read it thrice also. Then next tip, try to understand the central idea of the passage. So central idea means that you people have to understand what this passage is about. Okay, so that is the central idea, central theme of this passage. Then next step, you people have to take that read questions carefully and try to locate answers from given paragraph. So usually answers are there. Sometimes answers are straightforward. Simply you can find out. Sometimes they are uh, maybe confusing. Sometimes they are hidden. Sometimes they are scattered in passage. So people have to collect it. Then next, number 4, if you find any difficult word, try to understand its meaning with reference to the context. So it happens usually. It is not that all we read that all words are simple to us, familiar to us. Sometimes new words come in our reading. So in that case, we people are going to guess the meaning or understand its meaning with the reference of context. So what other sentences and words they are saying, from that we will guess the meaning of this new word, difficult word. Then next one is that try to understand the tone of the author. So tone of the author here means you have to understand that what writer is trying to convey from this passage, where he is making a request, whether he's making an appeal, whether he is just giving information, just he is maybe whether this paragraph is descriptive, informative, technical. That is you people have to understand from this passage. Then next tip is that answer in full sentences. Here also people take care that whatever answer you people are going to write, you don't write it in one word or in one phrase. In fact, you people have to write down it in full sentences. If it is simple factual questions, then you have to write in one sentence. If it is complex factual questions, you people have to write in one or two sentences. And don't copy the lines from the passage as they are. And this is the habit, the strategy by many of the students used while answering such questions, that they just read question and they just see that main words in the question and same words they try to find out in the passage. And the words, if they found in passage, the line before these words and after these words, they copy it down in answer. So this is the strategy which is followed by many of the students, which is very maybe inaccurate sometimes, and you are not able to find out answer by this strategy also. So let's see here, one paragraph is there. We'll read one paragraph and we'll try to discuss it. Okay. The paragraph says, Kumble is a tall young man with a rug as springy as an antelope's bound. Okay. His long bony finger can easily spin a ball. He is the second bowler in 122 years to take all 10 wickets in an innings. His record spell 10 for 74 against Pakistan at the Firozshah Kotla helped India win the second test. The only other person to have taken 10 wickets in an innings was Jim Laker, whose figures are 10 for 53. After the last wicket was taken, Kumble couldn't find the ball. He wanted to keep it as memento. Well, luckily his friend Venkatesh Prasad had it and gave it to him. Kumble believes in 3 Ds: determination, discipline, and dedication. Minutes before flying to Sharjah for a test match, he had the time and concern to telephone a young boy who was seriously ill and almost certain to die. It made the boys last day happy. They say he is a matador who looked like a chess player. Okay, so this is paragraph, and maybe sometimes you do not understand anything. So in that case, I told you second and third reading may be required, but we will assume that you people will understand it, and we people will go for questions and answers. So first of all, what is the theme of this? What is this passage about? This passage is about a person, that is Kumble, who is a player, and his characteristics as a player, his characteristics as a person also, which is given here. So that is what we are going to understand as a theme. And here this paragraph is informative, which gives information about Anil Kumble. Okay, so let's see question. You people are going to answer me question. I will read only questions. You people are going to answer me. Okay, so question is that what was the thing that Kumble wanted to keep it as memento? So there are two questions in this. So first question is that what was the thing that Kumble wanted to keep as memento? And who will answer me? You people are going to answer. It was very simple paragraph, and I hope that simply or easily people will get answer. Question is that what was the theme that Kumble wanted to keep it as memento? Yes, Saki.
Ball, sir.
Yes, exactly. The thing is ball. Okay, so maybe if you're going to find that here, answer is the ball, and while writing, you are going to write it in full sentence. And now in the same question, there is a sub question also. Who gave it to him? So who gave it to him? Who gave this ball?
Venkatesh, sir. Venkatesh.
Yes, Venkatesh Prasad gave ball to Kumble. Yes, you're right, sir. With this, other people, I hope that you got it, and we'll go to the second question. Second question says, who was Jim Laker? So, who was Jim Laker? Is there anyone who is Jim Laker in this passage? And if you come across, then try to tell me who is this Jim Laker. So, in the passage, you will find Jim Laker is here, but what is the answer? People are not replying, not responding. That is not fair. Let it be. If you don't want, that is fine. Maybe passively or connecting. Only one side I am just talking, and you people are just connecting. Whether you are listening or not listening, I don't know. But let it be. So Jim Laker was the only other person who has taken 10 wickets in an innings, and his score is that 10 for 53. His figure is like this. So this is Jim Laker. So there are only two persons who has taken 10 wickets in an inning, One is this Anil Kumble and another one is this Jim Lecker. Okay. Then let's go to the next question, number 3. What are the 3 D's that Kumble believes in? So what are the 3 D's?
Determination,
And disciplinary.
dedication.
Disciplines are dedication and
Yes,
determination.
exactly. So all you people are right. Those who are saying that Kumble believes in 3 D's, and these 3 D's are determination, discipline, and dedication. So all you right. Then next question is that how did Kumble make the boys last day happy? How did Kumble make the boys last day happy?
By making a call, sir.
Okay, by making phone call to that boy, and that boy was seriously ill and almost about to die. By making him phone call, he made his last day happy. Yes, you're right. Then next question, number 5, it is about vocabulary. It says find the words from the passage which mean the same as each of the following. So first phrase is like a graceful leaping deer. So for this word is antelope's bound, and a remembrance, it means memento. And number 3, batting period in cricket match is called innings. Okay, and last one, what sort of identification is given to Kumble? Kumble is given identification as a matador who looks like a chess player. Okay, so that was a passage. Remaining passage, you people will go through it and try to answer questions. Don't see ready-made answers, but maybe from internet you just practice more. These passages are not sufficient. Only 3 or 4 passages are not sufficient at all, and these are very simple. If we consider difficulty level, these are simple passages. You have to try for medium or difficult level passages if you want to seriously do this study comprehension. Okay. So with this, today we are going to stop here. I hope that whatever people have done is understood by you people and will do well in ISA exam also. So let me know if following roll numbers are present or not. I'll announce roll numbers of absent students, and if you're present, the people will just tell me later. So roll number 6, roll number 16, roll number 22, 25, 28, 31, 32, 36, 37, 43, 47, 56, 63, 67, 69, 70. These are absent numbers. Okay. So once again, I will announce this absent number: 6, 16, 22, 25, 28, 31, 32, 36, 37, 43, 47, 56, 67, 69, and 70. Okay, with this, we'll stop here. Thank you for joining today's class, and maybe in next class we will discuss more points. And you people keep submitting assignments also, that if you have completed, then you just submit it. So I will end this meeting for everyone.